let's talk about why your sales sucks, right? Why do your sales suck right now in this current season? Let me ask you a question, right? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Do you take time? Do you take time at the end of the week, at the end of a day, and look at everything that you could have done better, right? Do you take time at the end of the day or at the end of the week, whatever it is for you? Some of y'all need to do it like at the end of every hour. You know what I mean? Some of y'all need to do it at the end of every hour. But think about this. And again, man, I want to make this so simple because when you're done listening to this, I want you to be able to go and execute the task, right? I want you to be able to go and use what you're hearing. A lot of times, man, we hear stuff, but we don't go and use it, right? We don't go and use it. So let's talk about this real quick. What is the number one thing that cost you a ton, right? The number one thing that cost you a ton in sales is what? What would that be? Because at the end of the day, right, there always has to be a number one. There has to be a number one. And it can be many number ones, right? There could be many things that can have this number one spot. But for you, what is it? For me, I realized that managing my energy was the thing that was costing me the most. Managing my energy, right? And I'm going to go a little deeper in this, but let me give you an example of what it is that I'm talking about when I'm saying manage your energy. For me, if I find myself slipping and starting to feel frustrated, starting to feel aggravated, starting to feel stressed out, it makes me standoffish, right? Where I didn't want to be bothered. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to study nothing. I don't want to listen to nothing. I basically become a rock, right? I basically become a rock. So in sales, when I realize that the things that make me become a rock are the things that stop me from making the income that I know I could be making, right? I want you to think about that because if you don't take time to acknowledge the things that are costing you money in sales, you will continue to go down the same rabbit hole over and over and over and not know how to get out of it, right? So I don't know about you, but when I tie a dollar amount to something, that's a loss. Not so much the gain. For me, it's not so much the gain, right? I'm not money motivated. But if I look at something and I'm saying, okay, me talking to you costs me money because you change my mood, you change my attitude, you drain my energy. Talking to you cost me. So I'm going to say to myself, okay, how much is the most I ever made in a month, right? For me, I'm going to say how much have I made in an engagement, whether if it was a speaking engagement, a training, whatever it was. But for y'all, right, that don't do public speaking, you don't, you're not getting paid that way. You're getting paid per sale. So what I want you to do is I want you to identify how much are the useless conversations with your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, your mom, your dad, how much are they really costing you? Right? And I know some people are going to say to me, well, I got to talk to my mom. I got to talk to I get it. I'm not saying don't, but I need you to understand how much is it costing you, right? If you have a conversation with somebody for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, how much did that 20 minutes cost you? So how do we figure that out? How much did you make? What was your biggest month, right? Your biggest month, or you can say your average. What's your average month? Divide that by 31. Right? And it's going to give you a dollar amount per day that you're earning that allowed you to get to that income. Now you take that dollar amount, right, that you're making per day, and you figure out, what am I making per hour? What does that come down to per minute? So every time I give you a minute of my time, I'm subtracting my currency because I'm putting my time into something that don't give me anything. It just takes. But if I take that same time for that conversation, and I put it into developing a new skill, making a skill that I already have stronger, finding a weakness that I have and putting that time into making this weakness stronger, I now can hit my sales income. This is why, for me, energy management is my number one. Because you're either taking my energy or you're giving me energy, right? One of the two. There's no in between. Our relationship that we have, something you've done for me in the past, does not outweigh or have impact on where I need to be putting my energy. Everything that you put in your refrigerator has an expiration date. Everything you put in your cabinet has an expiration date, except for honey. Except for honey. Honey, it don't expire, right? But everything else has an expiration date. So you did a favor for me. Okay, great. Okay, how long do I let you hold that over my head? How long? Not too long. There's an expiration date, because I'm sure I done gave back. You know what I mean? Whether you see it or not, I don't know. But my energy management is so important to me that I'm paying attention to every little piece. If you subtract, I got to put that time somewhere where it adds. Now, if you subtract, but you also add, right? So you're taking away, but you're putting back. I'm cool with that, right? But if you're taking away and not adding, I'm not cool with that. So I want you guys to figure out what is it costing you per minute to give your energy and your time to somebody else. When your energy falls below what level? I know what level I'm going to be unproductive. So I don't want to just, once I identify the level I go below, the level I hit that makes me unproductive, I want to identify what is it that starts to put me in that direction, right? What is it? What conversations? Who is it? What is it? Where is it that starts to put me in a direction where I'm on a decline of being productive? Why? Because I'm managing my energy. If I identify my energy is costing me more than anything or making me more than anything, don't you think that's where my focus needs to be? Where's your focus need to be? Where do you need to put your focus? Because I'm going to be honest with you, until you change, nothing changes. So if you don't identify the things you need to fix, that means nothing, you're not doing anything to change anything, so nothing changes. And you keep living the same thing over and over. And this is why I hear salespeople say, yo, sales don't work. Sales is a scam. Oh, man, I hate sales. I hate salespeople. You don't hate salespeople. You hate the fact that when you run into a good salesperson, the salesperson asks you questions that you can't hide behind. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes people go to buy something, really can't afford it. The salesperson exposes that. Now you don't like the salesperson. You're trash, right? But I don't want to lose focus. I want to stay on your energy management, okay? Because your energy management is extremely, extremely important. So what I want you to do after you identify your biggest month, break that all the way down, identify what you make per minute, okay? What you make per minute. The most I received for speaking engagement was $9,800, right? So that $9,800, if I take an hour of my time, because that's how long the presentation was, I did an hour and a half, but they paid me for the hour. I went over the 30 minutes, right? But for that hour, $9,800. So when I take that $9,800 and I break it down, that's what my time is worth. My time is worth $9,800 an hour. Why? Because I get paid that to go speak. Okay? I wish it was more, right? More often, right? And more. But I get there. I promise you. Why? Because I'm managing the energy. So when I'm saying to you, you keep devaluing yourself, talking to people with no value, messing with your energy because you got poor energy management, which is making your sales suffer, which pours over into your life and makes your life miserable. Okay? So let's jump into this, man. Energy management. Number one, I want you to write down, really number two, because number one is identify what is your time really worth, right? Number two, who drains you? Who is it that drains you? And nobody is safe. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is safe. If you make exceptions for the people that drain you, you will continue to live in the cycle that you live. You will continue to get the results that you get, right? Sales rewards you for your discipline. Sales rewards you for the management and execution of your time. That's what happens. So when I find things that drain me, people that drain me, things that drain me, I'm going to ask myself, number one, who drains me? What drains me? Right? What, who, and where? These things drain me. These three areas I want to know. And when I go into it, because there might be some things in that area that are good for me, right? So I want to identify the things in the three areas, who, what, and where, right? Who, what, where drains me. And I will avoid them. Not secretly. I'm not going to just avoid the people. I'm going to tell you, you're draining me. You're costing me. There's things I want to do, but when I'm with you, you sidetrack me. You get me to go and live within the comfortable me. The comfortable me is okay with you. The uncomfortable me, who I need to become, don't want nothing to do with you. I don't have a problem saying to somebody like, hey, you know what? Every time I'm around you, man, or when I leave you, I feel unproductive. When I spend time with you, I feel like, man, I really wasted a day. I really wasted the last 30 minutes. And they're going to be like, what do you mean? Well, what did we talk about? What did we do? What value was added? I'm not just going to say your time is trash. You're not worth it. No, I'm going to ask questions because I also want to make the person next to me think. But watch this. More importantly, I'm so selfish. I'm asking questions because I'm mastering my sales. I'm mastering. Can I ask you questions that make you think? Can I ask you questions that make you become a better you? Can I ask you questions that sound non-confrontational, non-threatening, right? Can I ask you questions that don't sound like I'm just beating you up and making you feel like you're not worthy? Because I don't want to do that either. Right? So I'm working on me and my skill set by asking you like, yo, okay, so we was just talking for an hour. What did we get out of that hour? What did you get? Other than laughs. What did you get other than you got updated on some drama? Like, what did you get? And when they look and they're like, wow, I ain't never thought about it like that. Right? And then it starts to change the dynamic of the people around you. See, you don't have boundaries. You don't know the culture of people that you want around you, so you can't create the culture that's going to give you what it is that you want. It's your job to create the environment to make sure that you grow in sales so you can grow the life that you want. That's your job. That's your responsibility. Now, I'm not opposed to us doing it together, but you got to be willing to want to do it, right? So I'm going to ask the questions. What have we gotten out of this conversation? What have we accomplished? And by doing that, what I notice is there's some people that got away from me because they didn't want to answer the hard questions, right? And then there's some people that every time now when we're on the phone, before we get off, they're like, oh, cool. So let's recap real quick. These are the things you said you was going to do. So I'm going to hold you accountable, and then you hold me accountable for it. So now what will be when we get off this phone and we hang up, what's the next 3 action steps you're going to take? What are the next 3 action steps? When you start having, and listen, I didn't come up with this, right? I was talking to my guy one day, and my guy said, yo, P, we was just on the phone, man, for 30 minutes. He was like, and we talked about a lot of stuff, but what's your next 3 action steps that you're going to take? So that way, when we talk next week, we can make sure that we're holding each other accountable to get there. And I was like, whoa, caught me off guard. I said, bro, I wasn't even thinking about that. And he said, yo, all right, cool. Before we get off the phone, no, we got to think about that. And ever since then, I added that to my life. And I noticed things get better. I notice I don't stay in the same place. I notice the growth. So if you're talking to your friends, right, because you need to know who drains you, what drains you, who drains you, what, who, and where, right? What drains you, who drains you, where are you drained? When I'm in conversations like that and they're ending in that way, like, hey, what are your next 3 action steps for this week? Things got better, okay? So I want you to make sure you go through that. Number 3, what fuels you? Where's your fuel come from? Where does your fuel come from? Not somebody else's. Where does your fuel come from? You ever get so excited, you're like, oh, I'm about to do this, da-da-da-da-da. And then out of nowhere, you notice that whole thought just disappears? You be in deep thought. You be ready. You got a whole life planned in your head. You got a whole plan of execution planned in your head. But the minute you walk away from that space you're in, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're right back to who you was. You're right back to who you was. So what drains you? What allows you to stay in that momentum? What allows you to keep moving? See, for me, it's like, you ever go to the gym and you're working out, and then you take a day off, you take 2 days off, before you know it, it's like a week you ain't been to the gym. You ain't create the habit out of it yet. Right? But if you talk to people who've been going to the gym for a long time, when they take a day off, they're like, yo, it don't feel right. It feels out of place. I got to get to the gym. They're not going to miss 2 days. They're not going to miss 3 for sure. And then they get to the point where they're like, yeah, I got to do this every day. If I don't even feel right. I ain't got the energy. I can't even think clear. You stop doing things before they become habits, right? So I need you to identify what is it that fuels you? What gives you the energy that gets you the results? What does it? What gets you the energy? Where do you get that energy that gets you the results you desire? Because you're waking up every day and you're going to work. And on the way to work, you're mad you got to go. You're not happy that you get to go. You're mad that you have to go, right? And then you're around these people you're not even happy with. And your energy is just drained. And by the end of the day, you're like, I can't wait to get away from them. You're not thinking about what you're doing to build your life. I need you to identify what fuels you. Where does that fuel come from? Where does the fuel come from? See, when you identify the source that gives you the source, meaning the source, the area, the space, the thing that gives you the energy that makes you better, you should be closer to that source continuously, right? Not further away from it, but you haven't taken time to identify it, right? So I want you to find the fuel for you. What is that fuel for you? One of the things for me, when I feel myself starting to go downwards, right? Starting to get aggravated, frustrated, stressed out, not depressed. I think depressed is a luxury, right? But we all get aggravated, frustrated. When I start to feel myself slipping, there's a couple of go-tos that I have. I'll share it with you. Some people be like, yo, that's foolish. That don't make sense. I don't see it. You don't have to see. It's not for you. It's for me. I figured me out. I'm not trying to figure you out. You figure you out. You don't need to figure me out. Figure you out, right? When I watch like baby videos, I love the baby videos because I just be laughing, right? Just laughing. They're just like silly, right? So I laugh. So I watch a whole bunch of baby videos. I might take 5-10 minutes and I'm just scrolling, watching baby videos. Boom. Tripping out, right? Laughing. And then my new thing, maybe about 3 weeks old, I watch the gorillas. I like watching the dad gorillas with the babies, right? With their young. How they have so much patience. They have so much power they can unleash at any moment, right? But when it comes to their little ones, yo, them dads have so much patience. The kid is beating on them, throwing stuff, jumping on them. Dad's chilling. Every once in a while, push them off, right? But they're not spazzing out. I'm like, yo, they got control. They know they're a beast. They're not intimidated by something walking up on them. They're not worried. They're letting the kids be kids. And they're taking it all. But if someone comes or something comes around the corner and tries to get the youngins, that's when the beasts come out. Why are you letting your beast out when your beast don't even need to be out? I'm watching because I like the patience. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be like that. I want that type of patience. I want that type of patience. No matter how big that gorilla is, like, rrr. Mama gorilla come over and be like, calm down. Big man be like, okay. Right? And just chill out. I want that type of patience. I want that ability. I'm watching. And I'm thinking. Yo, that right there is energy management. I don't need to waste my energy on stuff or on people that I love. I don't need to give them, I need to give them this right here. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to identify what fuels you. What's the fuel for you? And that's a fuel for me. I watch it because then I think about how I want to be and it fuels me to go and do it. Right? It fuels me to go do it. Number 4, protect your mornings. I see so many people in sales that disrespect their mornings to the fullest. And what do I mean by disrespect your morning? As soon as you wake up, first thing you want to do is you want to grab your phone. And when you grab your phone, right, you're looking at news, you're reading text message, you done just open your eye, like you can't even see the phone straight. Like you still got like poo-poo in your eyes, right? They dry. You trying to see clear. And you worried about what somebody texts you? You worried about what you missed? And you ain't even catch your own thoughts yet? When you were sleeping, you had visions that was given to you. You had ideas that was given to you, but you start to immediately put other stuff in your mind and you expect your sales to go up. Your sales ain't going up. You're not taking you time. You're not understanding you. When I'm waking up, I might sit there and just look at the ceiling for a minute. I'm getting my thoughts together. I'm seeing how I feel for the day. I'm checking myself. Once I have a self checkup and I check myself, right? Now I know what actions I need to take to put me into the right mood so that when I walk out that door, I'm ready for the world. Some of y'all are getting up and you letting your phone, you letting the information that you're taking in get you ready for the world. Every day, man, I got this one person that asks me, did you see the news? Did you see what they was talking about? And finally, right? Like, listen, this went on for 4 days. For 4 days. I couldn't take it no more. Day one, you're asking me. Yeah, no, I don't watch the news. Day two, I never take time to sit down and watch the news. Day three, yo, why every day you keep asking me about the news? Like, I don't watch the news. Day four, hey, listen, do you get up in the morning and put the news on? They said, yeah. I said, I don't. I said, but when I come in here, you're asking me about the news. If I don't put it on myself, that means I really don't care to hear it. So therefore, you decide to put it on. I want you to decide to keep it to yourself because that's your entertainment. That's your process. You're running around and thinking about everything the news told you. I'm running around focused on everything to make my life better. I'm focusing on what do I need to change within me so that I can become better, so that I become better at sales. Some of y'all are so focused on everything external, and it's just not working right for you. If you ignore the internal job, the external don't work. And when it does work, this is where it causes more damage because it's an accident to win. I believe in sales, right? For me, I promise you, I believe in sales, man, that one of the biggest mistakes that a person can make is winning accidentally. Now, don't get me wrong. I take the accidental wins from time to time, like, ooh, but I'm also going to dissect it like, okay, it was accidental. I didn't expect that, but what happened? What didn't I see? Right? Was there something I did that made it go this way and maybe I overcomplicated it before? Is there something I missed with the personality? Like, what is it? I'm studying that. Why? Because I understand I don't need accidental wins. I need wins that I can dissect. And when I dissect the win, I now can be intentional about getting there. See, you get there so much by accident, you can't help anybody else get there. As you guys go through this, I don't even know what day we're on anymore. I stopped counting days. I stopped counting. I was like, okay, day 1, day 2, day 15. Last thing I think I said was like day 19. Day 19, we're showing up like this and we're doing this. And then it got to the point, I'm just like, yo, I'm not even counting no more. Why? Because that's not my thing. That don't excite me. That makes it a job. That makes it a job. All I want to do is show up for y'all. All I want to do is give you the information that's going to help you win. You see what I mean? And before I do it, I'd be asking my clients, I'd be like, yo, I'm going to share this. Do y'all mind if I share this? Because I know y'all paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all invested in this. Y'all mind if I? They're like, nah, go ahead, man. They ain't going to use it anyway. That's what they be saying. They be like, they ain't going to use it anyway. I'm like, why you say that? They'd be like, cuz, why? They didn't pay for it. They're not going to think it works. I promise you. I promise you, when you start having energy management, people be like, yep, time management. Don't get me wrong, time management's important. But you can manage your time, but you're bringing a bad energy in it. You could take somebody out the hood and you can put them in another environment, right? But when you put them in another environment, they're still the same person. You see what I'm saying? Same person. So that's what I'm saying to y'all. Energy management is important, right? It's very important. It's number one on my list. It's number one. It's number one for me. Okay? So I want you to protect your mornings. Your mornings are yours. Your mornings are the time for you to get yourself together. I used to wake up an hour before my house. Now I wake up 2 hours before my house. And it's not because I don't want to talk to my family. It's because I need time for me without taking time from them. One thing E said to me, man, he said to me years ago, like 2014, 2013, something like that. He said, yo, don't make your family suffer for what it is you want. Don't make your family suffer for what it is you want. And at the time, I was just like, yeah, I got it. Yup, I won't. I didn't know what he was talking about. I knew, right? Because it makes sense. Don't make your family suffer for what it is you want. But I didn't know how to get there. And then probably a month after he said that, we was at the next event, and I was like, yo, E, remember last time you said to me, don't make your family suffer for what it is you want. Don't make them suffer for your vision. He was like, yeah. I said, yo, what you mean? I said, I walked away, and I'm like, yeah, cool, but I really ain't get it. And he said, yo, your wife might want to go to bed when she might want you to go to bed when she want to go to, she might want you to go to bed with her when she go to bed. He was like, yo, go to bed. When she go to sleep, slide out. And then in the morning, wake up before she wake up. Wake up before the kids wake up. And you know what's so ill? Every time I walk through the door, right, the first person to come out be my daughter. My daughter come out the first time. Pops, what's up? How you doing today? And I'd be like, I'm good, baby. How you? She'd be like, I'm good. And we start talking. And we'll sit right there in the kitchen, right? I'm leaning on the counter. She done drew pictures of me leaning on the counter like how I be leaning. The pitch. We're going to talk about the picture, but not right now, right? She make the picture. She sent me the picture. I was crying on it. And we'll sit there and we'll talk for hours. Me and my daughter just laugh, trip out. You know what I mean? Sometimes I turn it into a daddy talk, you know what I'm saying? And she like, oh, here we go. And then sometimes we'll just trip out the whole time. Sometimes when we leave, you know, like I'll drive a message home or she'll say something and I'll turn it into a point. She's like, oh, here we go with the dad stuff, right? But not one time does she ever stop coming out. And I think if she didn't come out, my night wouldn't be the same. My wife will call me like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, I'm talking to my baby. She'll be like, okay. Because she know I'm not going to leave. I'm going to keep talking to my baby, right? It's what we do. So for me, when I'm saying protect your morning, because E told me don't make your family suffer. So I got to get up early before everybody else. I got to protect my morning from my daughter, from my wife, from my son. I got to protect my morning. It don't mean I don't love them. It just means I got to get me right. And I'm not going to say, hey, leave me alone. I got things to do. There's times, right? There's times when I'm on a mission. Like, yo, I got some stuff to do. I'll get to y'all in a minute, but I'll break down what I'm doing, right? Or she'll look at me and see me working. She'll be like, let me let you work, Pops. I'm protecting my morning every daggone morning. I'm protecting my morning every single morning. I'm waking up before everybody else so I don't have to make anybody else suffer by saying, yo, you can't get my time because I got to do this. So I'm waking up first, okay? The last one, number 5. I want you to guard your nights. Guard your nights. I told you when I walked through the door, my daughter is sitting right there at the kitchen counter, right? She come out and we'll sit there at the kitchen counter and we'll talk. I got a certain time that it's going to shut down. I got a certain time at night where you can't give me your thoughts. I don't want to hear problems at nighttime. I want to control what I dream about. I'm controlling my dream. I'm going to sleep listening to what I want to listen to. I'm going to watch something that will give me the vision in my sleep that becomes beneficial and helps my mornings to be more peaceful. I hope you get it. I hope you get what I'm saying to you right now. You got to guard your nights. So many nights, man, you're letting people talk to you about conversations that do absolutely nothing for you. Why? Why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of having a conversation, gossip, stressful, non-nutritional, right? Non-nutritional conversations before you go to bed. Before you go to bed is the time to plant the seed because while you're sleeping, your mind is continuously working. And when you wake up, you're energized with new ideas, new thoughts, new vision, a new mission. Yo, sales will change your life. But understand, before it happens, you have to change. Okay? Life doesn't change before you change. The good, the bad, the ugly. If your life changes for the bad, there's some changes you made that led to the bad. If it changes for the good, there's some changes you made that led to the good. I want you to understand that, man. Sales will change your life. See, I don't teach my clients, my students about just selling scripts. It's about building you, right? When you're in sales, they don't train on belief. It's a sink or swim mentality. Either you make it or you don't. But based on your personality, based on who you are, you got to learn a different way. If you lack belief, I need to fix your belief. And over time of fixing your belief, you'll get to the sales and you'll believe that you can reach that income. But if I just teach you sales and your belief is broken, where you going? What you going to get? My belief was destroyed. I had no belief in myself. I'm a high school dropout, been in the hood all my life. I got active at 9 years old to 29 years old. You see what I mean? So when it's time to get out of there and leave them environments, I was wired that I wasn't worth much. I was wired that I couldn't be anything more than what I was. I was wired that I couldn't lead the family. That's how I was wired. Now, you got to be kidding me, right? I had to unwire to rewire. And this is why I'm walking y'all through these steps, right? This is why I'm walking y'all through this process. And this is why I know that getting to 100,000 a year in sales, taking home 100,000 a year in sales, yo, that's so light. That's so easy. I don't care what your product is, what your service is. That's easy. Listen, I said to my coach one day, I said, yo, I want to talk to you, man. I want to get this money up heavy. First question was, what's heavy? I said, I want to get to that $250,000. He laughed. He said, just like that. Like, he said, yo, you said you want to get your income up heavy, and then you ask about $250,000? He said, that's light. He said, that's not heavy. I said, what you mean it's not heavy? I said, I ain't there yet. He said, yeah, but just because you ain't there yet don't mean it's heavy. He said, you remember when you was talking about the 100,000? He said, all you got to do is make $279 a day. I was like, yeah. He said, okay, cool. Double that. And I said, oh, wow. I thought it was a little more than double. And he said, you know what I mean? And I said, oh. So I put my numbers up. You see what I'm saying? I put my numbers up. I went from charging X, making X the investment, to this being the investment. And just with that tweak, it changed the numbers. So let me give you this before we jump off, because I know a lot of y'all in commission-based sales, right? Phenomenal. Congratulations, right, for taking the leap. If your average commission becomes $500, right? I don't have my calculator in front of me. Y'all get the calculator. If your average commission becomes $500 and you get one of them clients a day, what's your income? If you're already doing 500, what if you figure out how to move your customer another $100? Your average commission now becomes $600. You're getting one of them a day. What happens when your average commission now becomes $1,000 and you're getting one of them a day? You see what I mean? So let me break this down. When I'm talking about your energy management, change your energy on how you look at things. You're looking to go get more clients. Yo, become better at getting more out of the clients that you currently have. Obviously, giving them the product that works, the service that works, right? But start asking for more. I see salespeople all the time, and they be like, yo, I sold X amount of units, I'd be like, yo, what was your discounts? How many did you sell at full pop? That's what I want to know. And when you start looking at me like, well, no, I discounted this and discount. All right, cool. Lower your discount rate and your income goes up. You see what I mean? Become better at getting more of a monthly premium out of your customer so that they're fully protected and not partially. Some of y'all out here selling partial protection. Some of y'all are out here with a phenomenal product, but you giving away so cheap because you have fear of loss. Yesterday, somebody asked me for L discount, right? I looked at him just like this, and I said, man, if you really, truly thought it was that overpriced, you wouldn't be here. Would you? And he looked at me and he was like, I don't know how to respond to that. I said, no, I get it. Just autograph right there. We'll get everything done. And my man just, yo, non-confrontational. I said it with no hesitation. Some of y'all be asking for the premium. Some of y'all be asking for more, but you asking, you're hyperventilating. You sound like you're about to pass out. I wouldn't believe you. You don't even believe you. Okay? So I want you to stop looking for more. I'm going to give you something my coach gave me. Some of y'all are looking for new opportunities and you're not nursing the opportunities that you have. You're already making 20 sales a month. How do you add $100 extra to each sale? How do you add $300 extra to each sale? $500 extra to each sale? You don't have to look for more. You got to manage what you have. Some of y'all are making 20 sales a month and you're getting 0 referrals. What if I make 20 sales this month, I get 3 referrals out of my 20? The month after that, I get 2 referrals off of the referrals that I had before, but I'm still getting the 3 referrals off of that month. Now I'm at what? 3, 6, 8 referrals going into month 3? Going into month 2? Month 3, I'm doing the same process. See, some of y'all are not losing because you can't do it. You're losing because you can't maximize what you currently have because you're too busy worrying about finding something new and not nursing what you currently have. Okay? And lastly, and I promise you I'm really out of here. I'm really out of here, right? Not only do you have to nurse what you currently have, but you have to start investing in yourself. Stop thinking it's DIY. It's not DIY, do it yourself. No, invest in yourself. The first year, right, that I was in that I really got a coach, and not like your mentor is free. Your coaching is what you invest in, right? I had a coach and it was $2,000 a month, right? $24,000 a year. When I went through that year and I'm like, yo, I put 25. Now, what? I promise you, I was heated. Like, I done gave these people $24,000 this year, right? And I didn't even realize that I went from 110 to 190. 110 to 190. I invested 24,000 to get 80,000 more. So that gave me a profit of 60,000. Would you give up 24,000 to get 60? I mean, to get a $60,000 profit? Yeah, absolutely. That's a good investment. That following year, right? I went from 24,000 invested in myself to just under 53. It was like 51 and some change that I put into myself. And I crushed over the number and got to the number. See what I mean? Yo, stop being afraid to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in you, why should anybody else? You keep asking for information, but you're not investing. Do you know one of my policies, one of my boundaries, if you do not have a paid coach that you're investing in, I don't even want to talk to you like that. I say hi, you know what I mean? Like, you're my people still. What up? What's good? But you're not in my inner circle. Why? Because you just hijacking information. You're not bringing information. Okay. So listen, man. Quick recap. Energy management. You got to manage your energy. All right. So you need to ask yourself who drains you, right? Who drains you? What fuels you? Protect your mornings. Guide your nights. If you do this, man, I'm telling you, things will get different for you. Okay. Things will get very, 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 very different for you. I hope it was beneficial, man. I hope you picked something up, okay? I will talk to y'all. Y'all go ahead, man. Stay phenomenal and go out and go make some bread today, all right? If y'all got any questions, man, inbox me, okay? Inbox me. Unless you're right here. If you're right here, y'all already know, man. Just ask whatever y'all need, and we'll jump into it, okay? All right. I will talk to y'all. Oh, real quick, don't forget, get access, man, to the digital course, if anything, right? Get access to the digital course. It's not, it won't break your bank, right? But it'll add tremendous value to you. If you're like, yeah, I really don't believe in myself, I don't know if I want to do it yet, I get that too, right? But if you go back and you watch all these lives, I don't even know what number we're on, right? But if you go back and you just watch them all, you're going to pick something up. If you take this call right here, you dissect this call, you will identify a way to make the $300. You see what I mean? You will definitely find a way to do it. All right. If you want to jump on a call to see if this is the right fit for you, let's do it. Let's jump on a call. I got some time. Inbox me. I'll make some time. I don't have none today, but I'll make some time. We'll jump on a call. I'll be happy to answer the questions that you have. Let's see if this is the fit for you. Okay. If you're the one who says, yo, I need somebody to hold my hand and guide me, we got that option too. But at minimum, man, you need to get access to the basics. All right. The basics will add another $2,000 a month to your income at minimum. At minimum. All right. I'll talk to y'all. Y'all have a good one.